You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
All right, America, this is America Off the Rails, coming to you live right now from KLRNradio.com in that secret little area that I live out in the middle of nowhere, trying to make sure that no crazy liberals can find me. And we have a lot to talk about tonight. So I'm going to open the show with a question. For those of you following along on Spreaker, you'll notice it's actually the title of the show. Are we a nation of laws or not? We're going to kick off the show with that question right about now on America Off the Rails. America, so you heard me ask it just a second ago, but I'm going to ask again because I want your honest opinion. Are we a nation of laws or not? Because it's interesting that it seems like everybody's leaning more towards not, and I'll explain that as we go. We've got lots of stuff going on in the news, lots of things we need to talk about, like, first of all, this whole travel ban by Donald Trump that was, our President Donald Trump, that was now overturned by courts in Washington and I believe it was Montana. Everybody talks about Washington, but there was another state that was fighting it too. And it has gone to the Ninth Circuit. And now the Ninth Circuit has actually upheld the lower court's decision. Big surprise. I mean, the Ninth Circuit is no friend to conservatism, which is interesting. Well, no friend to Republicans at all, really. Not really conservatism, because I'm still on the fence as to whether or not you can really call Trump a conservative. But the thing about it is, the vitriol that this is causing, because Barack Obama did the same things under his presidency. There were travel stays under Obama's presidency. Nobody said a word about them. Not one. Half of them didn't even make the news. They weren't even a blip in the news cycle. And now this one has had people protesting, rioting in the streets, talking about how we're infringing on people's human rights. And now, with the Ninth Circuit opinion, it gets even more dangerous. Now, for those of you that were listening the last hour, we're going to be rehashing some stuff, but let's not forget, this show actually goes to some other places. So for those of you that listen to both all the time, you may get a little bit of rehash, but it's kind of a slightly different angle, because this time it's just me. I don't have a second voice chiming in. But as far as the Ninth Circuit, the interesting thing is they have actually said something that, well, honestly, if you were paying attention, probably should have made the hair on the back of your neck stand up when you read the decision, because they specifically said that this ban was infringing on people's human rights and infringing on due process. They specifically mentioned green card holders. This is important for a couple of different reasons. First of all, in one point, they were correct. Green card holders do have due process rights. However, the point they didn't mention was green card holders only have due process rights once they are on American soil. When they are not on American soil, they don't have any due process rights. American citizens off of American soil do not have due process rights because we are subject to the laws and rules of the country that we are currently standing upon. So I ask you again, are we a nation of laws or not? Because these same people that tell us every time we stick our nose in the middle of another country's business, because a lot of us think, freedom is a good thing and democracy is a good thing, and we try to make sure that we instill those values in others to make sure that we are helping people around the world enjoy some of the same freedoms that we do. But we get told that we can't be Team America World Police and that the entire world is not America, and we can't keep holding other countries to our standards, but yet we're supposed to treat other countries' citizens as if they are already American citizens by default and extend to them the due process rights that are afforded us in our Constitution. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot tell me in one instance that it's okay and in another instance that it's not. Now, I'm on the fence with both, quite honestly. I am not a Team America World Police guy. I don't think that we should be going around from country to country and enforcing our will upon other people. I understand getting involved in certain conflicts when necessary. But the idea of nation building is important to me. It always has been. It doesn't work. We have these grand ideas when we go in about how we're going to win the hearts and minds of the people by helping them while we're blowing the crap out of their supposed oppressive government. And all we wind up doing is making these people that we're trying to help hate us even more, because we can't help the fact that there are going to be people when you're involved in a war that are going to be hurt regardless of how much you try not to do so. So I have a problem with all of that. But I have been on my soliloquy just a little bit too long. We are officially long for the first break, so we're going to pay the bills. We'll be right back in about 60 seconds. This is America Off the Rails. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
0251. Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and
All right, folks, welcome back. All right, so we got the first break out of the way. Now we got some time to get into the topics a little bit, stretch our legs, kind of get to stride, and let's talk about, again, this whole Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals situation. Because let's face it, they are usually a thorn in pretty much any conservative side. Because, I mean, let's face it, they're over places like California. And not to mention Arizona, which happens to have McCain as a senator. And yes, I know he's a Republican. I have not liked a lot of the things that he's done over his last several years in office. He's one of the reasons I firmly believe that we should have term limits. But the problem is, there's no way we're going to get term limits passed because we're asking the same people that we've basically handed unlimited power to for as long as they can continue to keep things effective enough in their home districts that they're viewed as heroes and keep being elected over and over again. We're giving them unlimited power, and we're asking them to take that unlimited power away. That's not going to happen. We have got to figure out a way to get the government back into the hands of the people. That is one thing and one reason why for the first couple of months that Donald Trump was running around like a bull in a china shop and tearing down everybody in front of him, I honestly liked what he was doing at that point until I realized he really didn't have an off switch. At least not when he was in campaign mode. Now, again, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt for the moment because he is the president. There's nothing I can do about that now. And as an American, I think everyone has a duty to at least try to support a sitting president until such time as they prove to you that you shouldn't be doing that. I don't really think he's done anything for the moment to give us the same bad feeling I had with Obama when the story came out about him basically telling the Republicans behind closed doors to kiss it because he won. No, elections had consequences, so he was going to get to do what he wanted to do, whether they helped him or not. Trump really hasn't done that yet, or anything like that I've been able to find. He's actually done a pretty decent job of doing exactly what he told the American people that he was going to do. But part of this is why I have a problem, because part of what he said he was going to do was work on changing how our immigration policies work. And one of the first ways he found to do that was to slow down immigration from countries that have had terrorist attacks within their own borders or are strife with terrorists. Again, President Barack Obama did much the same thing. When the stability in Iraq was lost, he put a pause on Iraqis coming over to this country, and nobody said a word. But now we have the Ninth Circuit, and again, it's not so much that they're saying, we don't really think the president had the authority to do this. Okay, that's something that we can determine. We can talk about that. But they went so far as to say that this decision was impugning due process rights for green card holders and illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants don't have due process rights. So again, I ask you, are we a nation of laws or not? And who do those laws apply to? Do they apply to everyone that is within our borders, or do they apply simply to the people that are here legally, lawfully, and are American citizens? Because I tell you, in my opinion, it is the latter, not the former. Our laws do not apply to everyone, and they do not apply everywhere in the world. That is what we keep being told time and time again when we start trying to do these military interdictions in places that are doing things that we don't agree with. We can't keep holding these people to our standards, and we as Americans need to stop trying to be the world police. And yet now we have the left saying, well, no, we don't really want you being the world police, but we want to make America the world civil rights organization and make sure that everybody has due process and everybody has the ability to be free and everybody has the ability to just basically be treated like an American just because they want to come here. All they have to do is say, I want to come here, and suddenly they have due process. Is that how this is going to work? They stand next to somebody that's headed to America and say, I want to come with you, and now all of a sudden we have to bring them because they have due process rights? Is that literally what we're talking about right now? And yes, that is a simplistic explanation. But let's be real here. That's basically what we're talking about. We're talking about affording people that have broken the law constitutional protections. People that have broken our laws, that are not even U.S. citizens, and in some cases are attempting to break the laws even before they even get here. And these same people, some of them have been approved for green cards, yes, but their due process rights do not apply until they are here. That has been a common, well-known situation. And yet we're making it as if this is something brand new and that Donald Trump is trampling all over people's civil rights. He's not. You may not like what he's doing, and if you don't, in a lot of ways, I'm sorry to say it sounds like it's politically motivated, because he's doing what I think is the right thing. There's nothing wrong with taking a step back and saying we need to look at this and make sure, because we have had people tell us from these countries and from these organizations like ISIS that if we continue to take in refugees, they are going to infiltrate the refugee groups. They have told us this. So do we take them at their word and try to take precautions, or do we sprinkle it with unicorn dust and fairy farts and hope that everything is going to be perfectly fine, okay, and dandy, and that nothing is going to happen? And then we have people talking about the fact that no terrorist attacks have happened on U.S. soil from anywhere within these countries. Okay, that's great. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to come through one of those countries if we don't start taking precautions. I've asked this question before, but I'm going to ask it again because that argument begs this question. Are the people that are telling us that we shouldn't be concerned because no attacks from terrorists have happened through these particular countries, do these people lock their doors at night? Do they lock their cars when they're driving down the street? Do they lock their cars at night to make sure that nobody breaks in? Is it because they've been broken into before? Or is it because they know that there's a chance that they might be broken into? Because until you personally institute these same ideals that you're telling me we should be practicing as a country, you need to sit down and shut up. Because if you're not letting people come into your home at all hours of the night, eat your food, drink your beer, watch your TV, and you're not letting people take your car for a joyride, run it out of gas, and leave it parked in the middle of nowhere, and not saying a word about it, then you really shouldn't be telling us what we should or shouldn't do within our own borders. Because that is the point. We have the right to defend ourselves, we have the right to protect ourselves, and we have the right and the responsibility to determine who should and should not be coming within our borders. And if we have a problem with certain countries based on the actions that are happening within those countries, we have the right, ability, and responsibility to keep people from those countries from coming into our borders until such time as we have determined that they are who they say they are and they are coming for the express intent that they told us they were coming for, not to do us harm. And that is my problem with all of this, is because we have become a nation that leads with our feelings, not with our heads. We don't know what these people are going to do. We don't know how many of these people that have come into this country already through all of these refugee groups might not already be here to do us harm. We don't know. And the fact that we don't know worries me. The fact that we don't know and nobody's wanting to take the extra time to try to find out ways to make sure that we can find out in the future and make sure that we're safe worries me even more. Why can we not take a pause? Why can we not look at some of the technology that we use and find a way to streamline it to make it easier and more efficient for people to be brought here and be able to be processed in a way that we know what we need to know in a timely manner so that we're not having to hold people up? We have the ability to do these things. We have the ability to police ourselves and our own borders. The same thing and the same rights that we afford to every other country on this planet. For Christ's sakes, Japan has specifically said that they will not allow anyone who is Muslim within their borders. And yet, we can't even put a temporary pause on people from Islamic countries when we know that people of the Islamic faith have told us that if we continue to let people into our country, they are going to put people here for the express purpose of causing us harm. But we're the bad guys. All right, lots more to talk about, and as usual, I'm long, so we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. This is America Off the Rails. Don't go away.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Nothing like realizing you hit the wrong button. All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is America Off the Rails. continuing this discussion about whether or not we should be worried about refugees being infiltrated by ISIS and other organizations wishing to do us harm, here's an interesting little article. This is actually, I think, from Yahoo News. Hang on, let me get it pulled back up again. Syria's Assad tells Yahoo News some refugees are definitely terrorists. This is written by Michael Isikoff of Yahoo News, and this is from today's Dateline, if you're listening live, February 9th, 2017. Hang on. Just realized the music was still playing. Let me kill that first. All right, so we have weighing in on one of the most contentious issues in American politics, the danger posed to host countries by the 4.8 million people who have fled from Syria's civil war. Syrian President Bashar Assad told Yahoo News that some of the refugees are definitely terrorists. In an exclusive interview with Yahoo News at a presidential office in Damascus, Assad said President Trump's freeze on admitting refugees from his country, part of an executive order that has drawn widespread protest and is being challenged in federal court, is an American issue on which he would not take sides. But asked if some of those who fled are aligned with terrorists, Assad quickly replied, definitely. You can find it on the net, Assad went on. Those terrorists in Syria holding the machine gun or killing people, they appear as peaceful refugees in Europe or in the West, he said. He couldn't estimate how many there might be, but added that you don't need a significant number to commit atrocities. He noted that the 9/11 attacks were pulled off by fewer than 20 terrorists, out of maybe millions of immigrants in the United States, so it's not about the number, it's about the quality and about their intentions. So again, I ask you, why is it such a big deal that we want to take just a moment in time? I mean, because we're not talking indefinite. We're talking about taking the time to fully vet these people and make sure that they are who they say they are, make sure their backgrounds check out, make sure they don't have ties to terrorist activity. And I'm sorry, we have the right to choose who comes into our country and who doesn't. Since when is that a crime? For us to determine who is going to be allowed to immigrate and who is not going to be allowed to immigrate. We've been doing that since the dawn of time. I understand that everybody talks about the quote on the Statue of Liberty, give me your tired, your poor, your hungry, your huddled masses. That is true, but they have still had safeguards in place. They've needed them. Let's not forget, a lot of the things that we have created as safeguards were because of things that we did in our own past. Let's not forget that a lot of the immigration safeguards that were put in place because of things like happened here with the Native American populations. Because an unknown quantity came into this area and basically nearly killed off an indigenous people. When we started realizing what we had done, we looked at it and said, we probably need to put some laws together to try to make sure that we can keep something like that from happening again. That is what nobody talks about. That's what these laws were put in place for. They talk about how we did it to the Native Americans. We freely admit that we did it to the Native Americans. Some of us have Native American ancestry. So we're looking back at the history going, man, I cannot really believe that we did that at that time in history. That we could have been so cold, callous, and calculating that we nearly put an entire people to extinction. And yet, because we understand this, and because we have put laws in place to try to make sure that things like that don't happen again, now we're the monsters because we just won't let anybody come in here whenever we want. I ask you, if the Native Americans, or I'm sorry, as the liberals like to call them, the indigenous people, could go back in history and tell someone, hey, you should probably not let these crazy white people in here, do you think they'd do it? I'm pretty sure they would. So again, who are these laws really here to protect? They're here to protect everybody. They're here to make sure that the people that are coming here with good intentions, that they're coming here to become part of America, that they're coming here to assimilate. We used to be called a melting pot for a reason. Everyone came in here, and by the time they finished the process and got involved and got settled in, they were actually part of the country and the culture. Now, that doesn't mean their culture went completely away, but it does mean that they started the generational process of assimilation. We now have entire generations of people that have refused to assimilate. We now have entire subcultures within our country because we have now third and fourth generation immigrants who are refusing to assimilate because they didn't come here to be part of the American dream. They came here to specifically bring their ideology, their beliefs, their rules, their laws to this country. And they tell us that over and over and over again, and we refuse to take them at their word. All right, well, we've officially hit the bottom of the hour. I'm going to have to take another really quick break. When we come back, much more about the specific question, are we a nation of laws or not? Right here on America Off the Rails, live on KLRNradio.com.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Hardin. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Hardin to see and purchase his book.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
Alright folks, welcome back. This is America Off the Rails. We're about halfway through the show. You know what? I realized I just did a host. No. I have not mentioned an affiliate once yet, so we need to get that out of the way. Of course, if you're listening right now, you know where we are. We're on KLRNradio.com, the home station and the basically the internet flagship of the Spark Radio Network and, of course, America Off the Rails, right here every Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. We've also started a new weekend update show that will probably run on Saturdays and maybe a replay here and there on Sundays, only because I kind of felt bored this weekend when I got up Saturday, because I've been doing like 6 days a week of radio for like the last 8 years and didn't have anything to do on Saturday, so I put together a weekend update show. Kind of liked it, so we're going to keep doing it. Of course, that one will run on Sunday nights over on crntalk.com, which was another reason why we did it, because it kind of fits, because we actually do weekend work over there. And, of course, we're available on AMFM247.com every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Available on the Red Nation Rising, the Liberty Channel, the radio network over there, every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern. And then, of course, we are available on the Lanterns Radio Network, one of our newest affiliates, at 2 p.m. Eastern every Monday through Friday. So, starting to see another pattern as to why we decided to do a weekend update show. Guess what? The affiliates get that one on Monday, so they still get to keep running us 5 days a week. All right, so anyway, back to the programming, and we'll talk about the podcast stuff on the way out the door. We have been talking about mostly the question as to whether or not we are a nation of laws. I guess we could also ask if we're a nation that feels that people should have to follow rules. Because there's been this major uprising right now over this whole Liz Warren situation, where she basically used a speech of someone else to impugn a senator and was thereby censured by the Senate for doing so because she actually violated a rule. We've talked about that whole thing before, so I'm not going to go into it too much because I've already given you my opinion on it. But she is still prattling on and stating that she's been, her free speech has been impugned, etc. Government officials don't necessarily have access to free speech. That's why they have rules that govern what they do when they're on the House and the Senate floors. They have to follow those rules. It's plain and simple. She broke the rule. Do I think it's good that somebody finally stood up and said, hey, you can't do this? This violates a rule of the Senate, and they did something about it? Yeah, I think that's great, except I'm not sure they're going to like it when the shoe's on the other foot, because everybody does it, and up until now, nobody's really enforced it. So I think they may have created something that they weren't expecting, but we shall see. And I think it will be a little bit like the whole Harry Reid scenario, because the Democrats loved it when he went nuclear and got rid of the 60-vote threshold for almost everything, and now they hate it because they can't stop any of Trump's appointments because they don't have to have a 60-vote threshold for anything anymore because they went nuclear. You know, that same thing that they kept telling the Republicans, don't you dare use the nuclear option. That's un-American. You're going to do something that the American people don't want you to do, because as the party that's in power, you should never do anything that would be that blatantly a way to remove the will of the people. And yet, as soon as they became the party of power, they did just that, and now they're lamenting it. Go figure. Another question as to whether or not we are a nation of laws. So everybody knows that another thing that Donald Trump said that he was going to do was start working on dealing with our illegal immigration problem at home by starting to work on getting rid of, if at least, the violent offenders and convicted felons that are actually illegal immigrants. So there has been a bit of an uprising today based on the fact that there is an illegal immigrant who's been here for quite some time, who is a convicted felon, who is now in the process, or was in the process, of being deported. Last I heard, there were all kinds of protests about it, so I'm not sure if they'd ever actually managed to start the process or not. I was going to try to pull some audio for it and just didn't have time today, so we'll probably use audio for it on the weekend update, so that way we can kind of touch on it again, since we kind of usually do a weekend review on that show anyway. But I bring this up because there's something we need to talk about here that nobody's really seeming to mention. This person who is now actively being deported, this process started years ago. This process started while Barack Obama was in office. And Barack Obama's answer to it was that he hoped that anyone who was a convicted felon and was here illegally would self-deport. That was his answer. He hoped they would self-deport because they shouldn't be here if they broke the law. Even though they broke the law to get here, they shouldn't be here if they broke the law. So now, under President Trump, this person is being deported, and now all of a sudden it's Donald Trump's fault, even though this person knew years ago, that she was eligible for deportation and didn't do anything about it. And here's the thing. I mean, we're not talking some little, she's convicted of a felony. So, I mean, we're not talking about she didn't lift a candy bar from 7-Eleven. You know what she's guilty of? Has anybody bothered to tell you what she's guilty of? She's guilty of identity fraud. She was arrested, tried, and convicted for identity fraud. If you've ever been through identity fraud, that's like one of the worst possible crimes next to murder. Because someone is taking your reputation and putting it through a blender. Someone is taking your hard-earned money and using it for themselves. Someone is taking your credit rating, doing whatever they want to with it, and putting it through the floor, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And this is where all the other bigger hosts start talking about LifeLock. Sadly, we don't have them as a sponsor yet, but it's just one of those things where you're not talking about someone who's a nice person here, who, maybe lifted a pack of bubble gum when they shouldn't have. This person took someone else's personal identity information and used it for their own gain at the cost of that person's reputation, livelihood, money, and whatever else they could get a hold of. And yet now we have people lining up to keep this person in the country, when first of all they broke the law to get here, then they broke the law when they were here. They were convicted of a felony. I'm sorry, but as soon as she was convicted of a felony, she should have been kicked out of the damn country. How is this a hard concept? Look, I'll get even Donald Trump softened on it a little bit because he started looking at the logistics and realized there was no way economically to deport the anywhere from 11 million to 16 million undocumented illegal aliens that we have here. Notice I didn't say undocumented immigrants. That's a whole leftist phrase. I'm sorry, they're illegal aliens. You don't like it? Turn the dial. I don't care. It's the truth. They are illegal aliens. They did not come here the right way. They did not follow the process. They've cut in line. I mean, dude, seriously, how many of us have been waiting in line at a checkout and somebody's tried to cut in front and you're way back in the line. All of a sudden somebody says, well, hang on, let me get up here and let me grab something off of one of the little impulse buy areas, and then tries to scoot 7 people in front and just about gets knocked out for trying to cut in line, and yet people think it's okay for people that have been legally waiting in line to come into this country and doing everything the right way suddenly are bypassed by all of these people that are breaking the law. So again, are we a nation of laws or not? Because when we seriously look at it, I'm afraid the answer to that question is not. And I've done it again, so we're going to have to squeeze in another break. I'm talking way too much tonight, folks, so we're not watching the clock very well. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Hardly to see and purchase his books.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Having a place to go after school will make you a better student. Having an outlet to express yourself will make you a better artist. Having something to do together will make you a better family. At the Y, we're helping build better friends, listeners, writers, swimmers, scientists, and musicians, one chance at a time. Give the gift of opportunity. Support the Y at ymca.net. The Y, for a better us.
Welcome back, folks. Well, believe it or not, we are getting pretty long in the tooth here, so we're going to start wrapping things up here pretty quickly. Before I forget, I want to mention something. For those of you who've been paying attention at home, we have been doing a giveaway now here on KLRN Radio for a few weeks. We didn't ever want to mention the number of mugs that we were giving away until we got to the point where they were just about gone, because we didn't really want anybody to be like, oh, you know, they're giving away quite a few of these, so we can wait till later. So we've been telling you we were giving away one. Truth is, we've given away a lot more than one. We're down to 2 mugs that are left, though, however. So you are running out of time to put yourself into that. You can do that by clicking on the Contact Us link on the KLRNradio.com website. Even if you are listening on one of the other affiliates, you are welcome to go there. Click that link, tell us you want the mug, and we will see what we can do to put you in the drawing for the final 2 that we have left. We'll start announcing folks that have won them here in the next couple of weeks. Also, though, as one of the last things that we're going to do to change things up a little bit, we're going to start a bit of a contest. So starting next week at random times, we will make an announcement during the day about a show that will have a giveaway, and we'll be doing the giveaway by taking a caller and basically, I don't know, we'll either do it where we do maybe caller number such and such, or maybe we'll do a trivia thing where we'll ask a question earlier in the day and basically just say if you want a chance to win, you have to call in, give us the right answer. We'll get your contact information, put your name in to the hat, etc., see who we can give it away for. But we're going to be starting that contest probably officially next week, and it will be running through, I think, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. I think we decided on, I think it was the 18th, but hang on, let me double check. Yep, so we're going to start it officially on Monday, and then it will run through the 18th. So the contest is almost over. If you'd like to find out more about this particular mug, you're welcome to visit the website. We have pictures of it there. And if you'd like to enter to win it, all you got to do is hit the contact link or listen throughout the weekend. We'll start making announcements about how the contest is going to work when it starts. There will be a different live show probably each day that will be the show that you'll need to listen to, and then call in at a certain time, answer the trivia question, whatever we decide to do. But we'll nail all that down over the next couple of days and start putting out tweets about it probably Sunday or Monday to bring you guys up to speed on what the plan is for these last couple of mugs. But we are just about out of them, so if you want one, make sure you throw your name in the hat now. All right, so now that that's out of the way, again, want to, and I did this on Jen and Rick, but want to do this officially here as well. We have one of the KLRN radio hosts, been with us almost since we started on the other channel that we used to all run on together, Daniel Stafford, who has finally reached the threshold of being approved for iHeartRadio. So congratulations to Daniel Stafford and the Stafford Voice for becoming another member of the KLRN radio family that has managed to find what we hope to be soon fame and fortune on iHeartRadio. Half tongue-in-cheek there, but, I mean, come on. When you're a podcaster and everything starts as, this little dream that you have of an idea of a show in your head, and now, you're suddenly on something as big as iHeartRadio, that's a big deal. So, congratulations, Daniel. I know you'd been working towards that for a while, and I know they were giving you fits because, let's face it, they're picky. But once you get there, it's great. We've actually had this show on there now for about almost 4 years. And, of course, Opinion Nation made it about a year ago, and unfortunately that particular show's on hiatus right now because Bryce Dunn went and got himself elected to political office and therefore can't really do a radio show anymore. All right, but anyway, we have got to take another really quick break because I was really, really long in the last segment, so we got to get another one out of the way, and then we will finish up the show. This is America Off the Rails. I'm your host, Rick Robinson. Don't go away, I promise. It's not just commercials.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate Formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
All right, folks, welcome back. Well, as I said, we're just about out of time. Got just about enough time to tie up the loose ends. A little bit of interesting news. You know, we were talking about the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals at the beginning of the show. The Republicans actually have a plan to deal with the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals because apparently they feel it's gotten too big, too slow, and too overburdened. And honestly, after looking at some of the numbers, I tend to agree with them. Apparently, the Ninth Circuit oversees, I believe they said 20% of the country's population and 40% of the land mass, which is a rather vast land area as well as a population group, to all be under the jurisdiction of one circuit court of appeals. And the Republicans have a plan for that. They actually plan on breaking the 9th District up and actually creating what they call the 12th District. District 12. Sorry, I had a Mockingjay moment there. But anyway, so they're talking about creating the 12th District, the 12th District Court of Appeals. And making the 9th District a lot smaller, because their reasoning for that is we have in our Constitution built in the right to a speedy trial, and the Ninth Circuit is anything but. And honestly, after seeing some of their decisions, I don't necessarily disagree with that overall idea. And in the spirit of the whole Elizabeth Warren and the caring and compassionate and understanding liberals, we have a little bit of audio I want to play right on the way out the door that kind of fits in with this just a little bit, and we'll tell you who it is when it's done, just in case you don't recognize the voice.
Is that the liberal left that speaks and desires for all of us to be tolerant, do not want to be tolerant of anyone that disagrees with where they are coming from. So the definition of tolerance isn't that all Americans experience a high level of tolerance. It's that all Americans who agree with them experiences this so-called tolerance.
All right, so this is from Republican Senator Tim Scott, who actually happens to be African-American, or Tim actually happens to be African-American, talking about the fact that the liberal left is anything but tolerant any longer, unless, of course, you agree with their idea of what tolerance should be. And this was rather evident recently when a certain conservative who happens to be gay was prohibited from speaking at a college campus because his speech was going to be deemed as hateful, which is a clear violation of the First Amendment, by the way. I mean, I don't understand this because, in 1960s Berkeley, they were rioting for free speech. 2017 Berkeley, they're rioting against it. If things really come that full circle, and it goes back to exactly my point for the entirety of the show, are we a nation of laws or aren't we? Because he has the right to speak. Just because he has the right to speak doesn't mean that you have the right to not be offended. You have the ability to walk away if you don't like what he's saying. But the First Amendment is a right to free speech, not a guarantee that you will not be offended. So again, I ask you the same question. I encourage you, since we do have lots of folks that listen on other affiliates, feel free to tweet me a response at AOTR_host. Are we a nation of laws or not? I want your input. If we get a decent amount of input, maybe we'll discuss it a little bit on Monday's show. Now, on Monday's show, we will have a guest with us. We'll have Taylor Fisher from the Federalist Coalition will be joining us for the entirety of the hour. We are also working on bringing on Miss Judy Sheets. She is the author of How the Bleep Did You Find Me? She's actually also a world-renowned private investigator, and we'll be having her on soon, too. We're still trying to nail down a date, trying to make sure that we have time to get things promoted, but just a couple of things that are in the works, along with other things. Also, recently, Dan and I had a really good guest on the Robinson and Wright show last Friday. I do encourage you to go back and listen to that show. It was actually someone who grew up in communist Russia talking about how communism fails everywhere it's ever been implemented and why it fails everywhere it's ever been implemented, and the fact that he's astounded that we as Americans seem to keep trying to run headlong in that direction. But on that note, folks, I am officially long for this particular show. They only give us an hour, so I've got to go because we're about 30 seconds over. If you're listening live on KLRN Radio, stay tuned. The Rhino Report will be up next. If you're listening on one of the other many affiliates, check your listings. I'm sure they'll have something just as awesome right behind us. Take care, good night, and have a great day, wherever you are, since people listen all over the world at different times. Take care, and again, I will see you when I see you. God bless.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.